Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, I took my hat off, got real comfy. I'm sitting in the parking lot. You want to guess where I'm at? You'll never guess. Where did I put my... I was like, did I lose my Marc Jacobs lip gloss? Because I took it with me tonight. I'm sitting here for the person that said I never put it on my top lip. Now I feel like an idiot. That's for you. I love you. I'm sitting in the parking lot of Taco Bell because I hadn't eaten anything today, and it is 1 a.m. on the dot. And I was like, I have to eat something, and nothing is open besides White Castle, McDonald's, and Taco Bell. And Taco Bell, I think, just closed at 1. So I went through Taco Bell, and I got a vegetarian Crunchwrap Supreme, black bean Crunchwrap Supreme. They have a vegetarian menu at Taco Bell now. And then I got a bean burrito and a root beer. And I sat and I watched Scarlet Envy from RuPaul's Drag Race interview. Well, I just watched her look at her part on Hey Queen. If you don't know what Hey Queen is, it's a show on YouTube through the world of wonder, but the first season I think is on Netflix with Johnny McGovern, and I've watched it forever. And like, he interviews not just drag queens that have been on RuPaul's Drag Race, but like mostly, but he's done like the cast of the Boulet Brothers, Dragula. He did like their reunion show. And he's had the Boulet Brothers on there before. He's had a lot of YouTubers. He had Shane Dawson on there. He had Christine Seidelko and Elijah Daniel on there. He had Kingsley. Who else did he have? Shane Dawson's interview on there is actually really good. We got a lot of snow today, and the road is like covered in that salt stuff. And I have to go to the post office and mail this letter so that I can... I keep on forgetting to do this. But anyway, today was a good day. Although I'm very tired, I have to tell you. So I don't know how long this vlog is gonna be. I'm gonna go to the post office, and then I'm gonna cut over and then take the interstate up and then turn around and come back. And however long it takes me to get up there is how long I'm gonna vlog for, because I want to listen to my audiobook on the way back, and then I'm going to go home and go to bed because I am really, really tired. And so yeah, so I got up today, and I talk about totally not healthy, right? But I did go to the gym today, and second week in a row, I met with my personal trainer, very proud, applause, applause, thank you very much, thank you very much. Was so proud of myself that I actually showed up and made it there today. So I did my personal training with her, and then I walked on the treadmill for a half an hour, very fast. And I kind of realized that that's like a good time in the afternoon to go, like in the early afternoon. There's not a whole lot of people there. There's probably only like, there was only like 5 or 6 people, and like people kept on coming and going. So, I mean, at any given time, there were anywhere from like 3 to 6 people. So I think it's a really good time to go to the gym. My trainer is so fantastic. But then I came home and I filmed a video for my Peter Monn channel. I wanted to film videos for all of my channels today, but I'll tell you what happened. So I filmed my video for my Peter Monn channel, and then I like rendered it in iMovie, and then I started uploading it, and then I had a massage at 3:30. I feel like I'm getting a cold. Like, my nose is like hurting, like right around the edges. And I don't know if it's like where my beard was like hitting it or something like that, or if I'm getting like a cold. I've been blowing my nose a lot lately. I hope I'm not getting a cold. It's crazy up and down weather in Indiana though. I've done pretty good without getting too sick. Oh my God, the ice. I've done pretty good without getting too sick this year. This root beer is completely gone. Do you guys want to see how much snow we got? Look at all that snow. Do you see? And guess what? I'm very happy about it. This will probably be the last snow that we have of the year. Which, I mean, I didn't even think we were going to get this. And Mel sent me the weather from Arizona. And when I'm going to be out in Arizona, it's starting to get warmer and warmer and warmer. So we're like, let's hope that Peter gets like really warm, good weather while I'm out in Arizona. Maybe I can even lay out one day and get a little bit of sun. So anyway, I got all that done. Oh, there's a little picnic table over there. You could go and have yourself a little lunch if you want, like a little sandwich from my vlog last night. But, oh my nose. What was I gonna say? This is like slick through here. It's like, I wouldn't say it's like super icy, but it's kind of like patchy icy. We'll just go real slow. So then I went to my massage, which was fantastic, but like I was talking about last night, I've got to get my stuff done before I go to my massage, because after my massage, I'm just done. I'm just like done for the day. I'm so relaxed. And we were going to see Rufus Du Sol tonight, which is like Alex's favorite in the entire world. I don't know what you would consider them. DJs, band, they sing, there's 3 of them. And I love their music too. I'm not a diehard, I mean, like, I would say I'm a fan. I would say I'm a big fan of theirs, but I'm not like a diehard. Like, Alex was like crying through the concert and stuff. And, so anyway, but I got done at like 4:45, and then I got home at like 5:15, and I started uploading my vlog. I did something else. What did I have to do? I did something else. Why can't I remember what I did? There was something else I had to do. Did I film another video? I didn't film another video. Because then, oh, it was like, I was gonna try to get like another 2 videos done. I can't remember what I had to do, but anyway, it got to be like 6 o'clock, and Alex was gonna be on his way home, and then I was gonna go and try to mail that, and I couldn't get there and back in time. So like I headed out and the traffic was bad, so I just was like, screw it, and I turned around and came back, and when the time I came back, Alex had fed the dogs, and so he didn't need to take a shower, so I went upstairs and took a shower, and oh my god, I used that new shampoo and conditioner that I got tonight, not the ones from Lush, but the silver one, and it smells so good. It smells like pineapples. I really like it. I think it's called A&G Art or something like that. Anyway, it's just plain white bottle. It was kind of expensive though, because there's not a whole lot. It doesn't have a lot in it, and it was like $20 each. So anyway, yeah, I did that, and then I got a shower, took a shower, and got changed, and got dressed and got ready to go. And then we went over to Sarah's, and oh, I took those pictures. I forgot to put those pictures up on Instagram. I'll put them up tomorrow. Of Sarah and I, and then of Alex and I, and Carlos and Liliana. So Carlos and Liliana met us over at Sarah's. So we went inside real quick, and we're hanging out for like 5 minutes. And Carlos and Liliana were drinking a beer that they had gotten at Sarah's, and like they had just like opened them, and I was like, I don't ever allow any like alcohol in my car, and so I was like, and they know that, so we were just like standing there like while they were finishing it. And then we drove downtown, and we went to the pavilion, which is where Rufus Du Sol was, and there was an opening act. It was Crooked Colors from Australia. They were really good. I didn't like them as well as everybody else did, but they were good. They were very chill, and so that was fun. Oh, I drove around. The whole time I was driving around today, too, I listened to The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson, which is a book that I'm listening to right now. I have to tell you, I really, really like it. I just looked. I didn't know this was a DJ. It's on 53 Chill. It's called, there's a band or a DJ called Cruise. I swore I thought which is obviously the play on words, but when I looked at it, I thought it said Tom Cruise, which is so funny because that's obviously the play on words. So anyway, Cruise. But it was fun. It just it felt very young in there. The pavilion is 18 and older, and so I wouldn't say it felt as young as 18 in there. Like, I've been to some music festival things where it feels really young like that, and I'm just like, I'm way, like, this, I don't need to be here. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like that. It felt like, it felt like, I mean, there were a lot, like, the bar area was really packed, and I had 2 Red Bulls, and I don't drink Red Bulls unless we go to something like that, and I was kind of a little worried that it'd be, like, too much caffeine, which is why I ended up getting this root beer. Because I'd had a coffee that day too, or today. Oh, that's what I did after I went to my training. I got a coffee at Starbucks. But the bar area was like filled with all of these like 21-year-olds that looked like really young. Like I said to Sarah, I said, they don't even look like they're 21. I mean, maybe they were there on fake IDs or something, I don't know. But they looked so young. Like they looked like, I mean, they did not look 21 to me. And then I was like, well, you know, like when you're like in junior high and you think like junior high doesn't seem like you feel like old in junior high, but then when you're in high school, you look back on somebody that's in junior high and you're like, oh my God, they're so young. I mean, I'm 47. I mean, like, you know, people in their 20s, their early to mid 20s seem really young to me now, you know? And it was a very, 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 very hippie scene. I was kind of surprised by that, honestly. I thought it would be a little bit more like hipster vibe, and it was very hippie-ish, which was cool. There were a lot of people like in onesies and dressed up like, there was this guy next to us that had like a tail on his shorts, and then he had like cat ears or something, like cat, you know, whiskers drawn across his face, and a hat on backwards. And there was a guy dressed up like a devil right by us with a long cape and stuff, and there was all different kinds of looks. I think like the new, like that whole vibe now is like, especially for the girls, is like those long, do you remember those Guatemalan pants that we kind of like would wear back in the day? Like, you'd see them at like Grateful Dead shows and stuff like that. But then they wear like t-shirts or like tank tops, which I guess they did back then too. But then like running shoes. I mean, it literally looks like somebody going to Pilates class, or like that's, but then they like have like dreadlocks and you know, or like real long hair, and then the guys that are real young, like, and I like Hawaiian shirts, but they wear like Hawaiian shirts. Like, all these kids had on shorts tonight. I'm like, it is 25 degrees and it is snowing outside. It was so cold. But they all had, oh my God, I have never seen so many Juuls in my entire life. They were all vaping on a Juul. But, I mean, like, I go to these things a lot. I don't know why this was surprising to me. It was just kind of a different scene. Sarah and I were talking about it afterwards, and she was like, yeah, I was like, she was like, where do all these people come from? I never see these people out and stuff like that. Like, you know, when you go out on the weekends or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, maybe they go to different kinds of places or something, but the music was good. I told Alex, I said, like, they were good. And Alex is really excited because he's going to hear them at the music festival he's going to in San Diego next weekend with his brother and his brother's girlfriend. But, I mean, when somebody's your favorite, of course you're gonna love everything they do. But like, we were on the way home and I said, he goes, did you love them? And I said, they were good. But they would play like a song that like I have on my iTunes and my phone. And if my version is a 4-minute version, they would play like a 25-minute version of it. It was just really long. And it was, they didn't sound a whole lot different to me than like their studio sound does. Like if you hear like one of their songs downloaded. So I don't know. They were good though, yeah. It was packed. We were in the very back. But it was like standing room only. At one point, like, Sarah wanted to move up closer because she's like, I can't, like, she wanted to take a video or something. She wanted to go a little bit closer. And so Alex is like, do you want to come? I said, I'm just going to stand back here for a little bit. And I don't, because, you know, I don't like to be around tons and tons of people. It makes me kind of nervous. Like, I can be in like a place like that with a lot of people. But like, if I'm like moving, like, I wouldn't say I get claustrophobic. I just don't like it. Like, I can do it, obviously. I just don't like it. So I kind of stand where there's some space. So they started going up, and Carlos and Liliana went with them too. And they like went up, and then they like turned right back and came right back. And Liliana was like, I can't see up there. And Sarah was like, it's way too packed up there. And I was like, yeah, it's too crowded. So... and that is that. Nobody's at the Top Golf tonight. There's 2 cars in the parking lot. A couple cars in there. I wonder if there were any school closings today. I didn't even look. So yeah, it was a good day. And I don't have a whole lot going on tomorrow. And... hanging out with the dogs at home. Little Boo Radley. Little Boo Radley. He's so funny. Tucker. Tucker follows me around all over the house like people used to when I'm doing my videos and stuff. It's so cute. You know, it's funny because I was standing there tonight. Like, I had a good time going and stuff. But I kind of like, like Ultra, I really enjoy. And I get kind of like, you know, pumped about it every year. But like, as I was sitting there, I kind of realized to myself, this is so bad. Like, if I never went to another concert again, as long as I lived, I'd be totally fine. Like, I don't enjoy it that much. Like, do you just ever have like moments of clarity or awakening moments like that? Like, I just was like, yeah, this is fine, I'm having fun, but my feet hurt, I worked out hard, my legs are killing me, I'm wearing these shoes, I have these like, grayish green, I have these grayish green like Air Force Ones on, they're gray, Air Force Ones on, and the sole is like that thick, and they're killing my feet, and I don't usually wear shoes, I wear Birkenstock sandals all the time, okay, unless there's snow outside and ice. And so today, I had on these, like these Nike Air Maxes that I got, these like the black ones that I bought at like Black Friday. I wore those today, but I've worn them like once before, so that was like the second time I've ever worn them, or the first time I've ever worn them. And I told her when I got there, I shouldn't have worn these shoes, but I'm trying to break them in a little bit. And she was like, well, they're nice shoes. I was like, well, they're killing my feet right now because of the arches. And she's like, yeah, you probably need to break them in a little bit. And so then I came home and I put my Air Force Ones on. Is that what they're called? Air Force Ones? Is that what they're? Anyway, I used to have a pair of Air Force Ones that are white that look just like this. This is why I think that's what they are. But my feet are killing me. And then I just got kind of tired when I was sitting there, and I was so hungry. I thought we were going to go somewhere to eat afterwards, see? Because, like, I like to make an event out of it. But Carlos and Liliana wanted to get home to the boys because Alex's mom was babysitting. And Sarah's doing this fruit cleanse, so she didn't really want to go anywhere like Denny's or anywhere because there wouldn't really be that much that she could have. And I was like, you know, thinking at Denny's they probably would have some kind of fruit she could have, you know. And so I thought, well, maybe Alex and I'll just go. But he was so tired, he was like, I was like, do you want to go get something to eat, babe, or do you want me just to take you home? And he was like, no, I've been eating really bad lately. He was like, just take me home. He was like, I'm not going to eat. I said, okay. So we came home, and he let the dogs out. He got into bed, and I laid with him for a little bit. And I talked to Boo and Tucker, and told them what good boys they are. tell Tucker he's my best friend, and I tell Boo Radley he's my baby. They're so cute. Boo Radley does this thing, like, he gets kind of cranky when he's real tired. He's so cute. And, like, he gets in, like, a real, like, tight ball. And he always, like, if I'm not there, it's always right next to my pillow. So, like, I'll get on the bed, right? And I'll, like, lay down on my stomach and I'll talk to him. I'll get real close to him and I'll talk to him. And I'll be like, well, what did you do today, Boo Radley? And he's, like, just keeps his head tucked. And then, like, sometimes he'll lick my nose or something. But then he'll put his head back down. That's kind of like, okay, I've been nice. Now leave me be. I want to go to sleep, right? He'll tuck us down. And I'll be like, Boo Radley, do you have an exciting day tomorrow? And he'll, like, get even tighter and he'll go, like, he's like, don't bother me. But then what's so funny is, when I sleep, he, like, oh my God, was it last night? Or was it was last night? He kept on getting up and getting up and getting up and getting up. And I swear to God, I mean, like, here's the square footage of the area that he has to move in, okay? And he would move here, here, here. But all of it is up against me, right? Oh, I thought I had stopped recording. All of it is up against me. So he would, like, get up, and then he would, like, go in circles, and then he would push real hard against me. And then something about it he wouldn't like. So he'd get up, and he'd go around in circles again, you know? And then he'd push real hard against me. He's so hilarious. And every time he would do it, Tucker would, like, look up. And, you know, we've got Tucker carefully tucked into bed with his little comfort blanket, and he doesn't want to be bothered because he's got his little comfort blanket on him, you know. He loves his comfort blankets. We cover Boo Radley with it. He's so funny. Like, sometimes, like last night he was moving a lot, but sometimes he doesn't move at all. And we'll cover him up with a comfort blanket, and when we get up in the mornings, he still has it on him exactly how we covered it over. Like, he hasn't moved at all, which cracks me up that last night he was moving so much. But, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Little Boo Radley. Don't be so sad, little Boo Radley. That's what I always say to him. Oh my God, they loved the snow today, though. They ran outside in the snow, and Boo Radley was kicking it all over the place out there. I was like, he is gonna bring all this snow in with him, and sure enough, he brought all his snow inside with him, and they were so cute just to watch run around out there. It's so weird because, you know, they've always been like a pack mentality. And so, like when Pee-Pee was alive, when they would walk out the door, Pee-Pee would go first, and then Tucker, and then Boo. Always. Like, always. There were a couple times at the end that Tucker would go in front of Pee-Pee. But, like, always, Pee-Pee was, like, the leader of the pack. And now that Pee-Pee's not around, Tucker always goes first, and then Boo Radley goes second. But what's so weird sometimes is, like, when I let him out the back, and, like, Tucker will go out, and then Boo Radley, it stopped. But Tucker will go out, and then Boo Radley will go out, and, like, Tucker will go out and go down the little stairs into the backyard, and then Boo Radley will go out, and then he stops, and he turns, and he looks back. Like, I think he's still looking for Pee-Pee. It's so weird. Like, I would have thought by now that maybe they forgot who he was, or, you know, like, but, like, if Alex and I are talking about Pee-Pee, and we say something about Pee-Pee, like, Tucker's ears perk up. Like, you can tell he, like, still knows what that, like, that name. Look at all those semis at that truck stop. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can't count. All those semis. I mean, that's more than they usually have there. I wonder if it's because of the weather. Probably want to be inside and be all warm and cozy, don't you think? was a kid, I thought it'd be fun to be a truck driver. And I always thought about how I'd make my cab back there, and I would have like a little TV and a bed, and I would make it real nice back there. When I was a kid, I loved to go to the state fair. I haven't told this story in a while, but I loved going to the state fair. The Indiana State Fair is like one of the best state fairs in the country, supposedly. And my aunt and uncle that live on a farm, well, my uncle's passed, but at the time, my aunt and uncle that lived on a farm in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where my dad is from, they had this huge farm, and then his parents had a huge farm too, just down the street. They were the ones that like owned all the land, and then they gave him some land, and then he bought some of his own land. That's how it all got started. But anyway, like they were farmers. His parents were farmers first, so it's farming family. Not my dad, like my dad's sister's husband. So my dad's brother-in-law. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but my cousin, my cousin through them is, I have two cousins, a male and a female, and she is 10 years older than me, 12 years older, or 15 years older than me, and he is about that minus 2, so I don't know the age difference. Well, she was in high school when I was like 6, so 10 years probably, and her brother was probably 8 years or something. Or, I don't know, close to that. 11 and 9 or something. But anyway. And, why was I going to tell this story? Oh, shoot. What was my story that I was going to tell? I've lost my mind tonight. I wanted to be a truck driver when I was growing up. And I was going to tell the story about going to the farm. Oh, I know what I was going to tell. Good thing. Well, okay, so they did soy. They were soy farmers, and then they raised sheep and steer. And so my one cousin, he showed sheep, I think, and steer. I think one showed sheep and the other one showed steer at the state fair. They were like in 4-H and all that kind of stuff. So my mom and I would go down and visit them. Even when my parents were separated, my mom was still really good friends with this one aunt of mine. This is my dad's one sister that's the next up in age from him. So they were really close growing up. And we would go to the fair. And my cousin, like, you know, if you keep the animals, like, in these 3 stalls, let's say, then you would get, like, a 4th stall. And then in that stall was, like, where the people would live for the week. And so they could be right next to their animals and stuff. And so when now they got these elaborate, like, tents and all this kind of stuff. But back then they had, like, cots and microwaves and, you know, they would have TVs and fans. And he would, like, sleep there. And I would be like, we would go visit my aunt at the fair, and she would pay for rides on the carousel, and I would always go, one more time. She'd say, okay, one more time, because I loved the carousel so much when I was a kid. And but yeah, I used to always want to stay down there. I thought that was so cool. I don't know why, that just kind of reminded me of the cab and the semi, but whatever. I used to go stay with my aunt and uncle on the farm every summer for a couple of weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. It was when the tennis championships were in Indianapolis, because my parents would get box seats. Even when my parents were separated and divorced, my mom would go down and use them too, because my dad's partner in his practice, his wife was my mom's best friend. My nose is really driving me crazy, you guys. I don't know what it is. It's a stupid beard. I'm so tired of it. But I'm not ready to shave it off. Anyway, so my mom would go down there with him, so it was just easier for me to go and stay with my aunt and uncle. And my aunt and uncle here, my Aunt Kathy and Uncle Dave, like, my mom, my aunt, my dad, all of them were, like, really big tennis people. So it was just easier for me to, like, go up there, you know? So I would stay with my aunt and uncle for like 2 or 3 weeks. I was never really that close to my uncle, but I mean, he was always nice to me, but I was never that close to him. But I was really close to my aunt, and we would, oh my God, we had so much fun. And we would drive all over. And I can remember, like, at the time, like, her part-time job that she had, she would go into, like, grocery stores and convenience stores, but it was mostly grocery stores, and she would stock, like, pantyhose, pins, like, stationery, that kind of stuff, in the grocery store. And so we would go in late at night, like, we would sleep during the day, and then we would go in late at night, so that, like, she would get up early in the morning and she would take care of, like, the farm, like, going to feed the animals, do all that kind of stuff. I mean, when you live on a farm and work a farm, you have to do all that stuff, you know? But then she would, like, take a nap in the afternoon, and then I remember we would get up in the evening. I've told this story on here before. It's been a while, though, since I told it. But we would go to this, these grocery stores, and we would come in there, and they'd always be like, they were so friendly. They'd be like, "Hi, how are you? And this is your nephew." And she would introduce me, and she'd be like, "He's my partner." And my aunt has real short hair. She always wanted to look like Tanya Tucker. Tanya Tucker. She'd say, "Do you think I look like Tanya Tucker?" I'd be like, yes, you look just like Tanya Tucker. And we'd sit in the car, and we'd listen to country music. And she'd always sing Crystal Gayle's "Don't It Turn My Brown Eyes Blue" to me, because my eyes are so blue. And so, or people tell me my eyes are blue. No, I know my eyes are blue. There's not a lot of positive traits about me, but I will say that I do know my eyes are blue. And the reason why is because my mother had the absolute, if you see a picture of her, I feel like there's like a hair hanging across my nose right now is how I feel about it. My mother had the most pure baby blue eyes that you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, you could see them from across the room. It was like the palest ocean. And my father has like steel blue eyes. Like absolutely steel blue eyes. And I'm like right in the middle somewhere. But both my mom and my dad, I know it looks like I'm picking my nose. I'm not. It's driving me crazy, you guys. But both my mom and my dad got 100 times more compliments on their eyes than I ever got in my life. But if I ever do get compliments from people, that's always the thing I get. So I wear a lot of blue. You know, when you have one good asset, you try to work it up a little bit. You know what I mean? But anyway, what was I saying? So we would go and we would put in these like pantyhose and whatever. I remember my aunt would teach me that you like so when you go to buy pantyhose, like, you know, at the store, the eggs and all that kind of stuff, she would say you push it up and then you pull it out, and then you put the new pantyhose in the back, so that the ones in the front are like the oldest ones, so that the newest ones always go in the back. Does that make sense? And she would do that with all the supplies, and we'd take all the pins off and we put the new pins in the back, so the older ones were in the front. So anyway, and then we would go to Arby's, and we would get a roast beef sandwich each, and I put tons and tons of horsey sauce on it. And then we would get, what do you call them? Potato cakes and Jamaica shakes, which I love. Which you also get potato cakes and Jamaica shakes if you go to the dentist. My dad taught me that. Basically, my family just liked Arby's. That was what it was. Arby's is expensive. It's like one of the most expensive fast foods. You know, I have to say, like, I rarely crave meat, but just like talking about it right now sounds good. Like, I have to say that. I was like, do I have my four-wheel drive on? It feels like my car is like pulling. Like, that is one thing that sounds really good. But I don't think I could do it if it was sitting right in front of me. And I'll tell you a little trick. Sometimes, like, just get that horsey sauce and put it on something like, you know, that you would make at home. Because, like, you can get horsey sauce from Arby's, and it just tastes like a roast beef sandwich. You can put it on like a, ooh, I might have to do that. I might have to get some of that and put it on like a, what do you call it, a veggie burger or something. That veggie, like, roast beef, though, or whatever, looks disgusting. Meat slices, that does not look good at all. We get you interstaters. So, this one night, my aunt and I My uncle and my cousin, I don't know where my other cousin was. I think maybe all three of them or something, or she was out of town, or I don't know where she was. But my uncle and my other cousin went to the Three Rivers Festival, which is around Fort Wayne, and it's like this big farmers agricultural deal thing they do over the weekends, or the weekend. It's like this big festival. So they went up there to the Three River Festival, and they were gonna be gone the whole weekend. Well, my aunt and uncle's farm is out, I tell you, in the middle of nowhere, okay? Like, seriously, like, and they have this driveway that, I will tell you how far this driveway goes, okay? We're gonna start right now, and the driveway probably goes up. I'm like trying to think about it in my head. To here, okay? But it's a straight shoot. So you go on these roads out in the middle of the country that are like straight. They're not windy roads, they're just completely straight roads, right? And you come up to her driveway and you can see it, and it goes way back, and then you see the house is to the left, and then the barn and everything is to the right, and it's in the back, and it's all lit up, even at night it is. And then in the distance, like in the past the farmland, you can see in the distance the interstate, okay? It's desolate out there. There's probably not another house. I'm like trying to think. Well, at the end of the street, if you kept on going up like another half a mile and you turned left, and then another half a mile was where his parents lived, okay? But they were like 80 when I was down there visiting. So it wasn't, and I think his dad was gone, had passed. I think it was just his mom that lived down there. I remember I used to always think this was so cool. They had a gas tank like on their property where you would go and fill your gas tank. I always thought that was so cool. I don't know why. A lot of farmers have that. I have a friend of mine that I worked with, and her mom and dad were farmers, and she had that too. She told me one day, she was like, oh my God, I hate going to fill up my gas tank. I miss that we could just like go, you know, up the farm and we could fill our gas tank up. And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. My aunt and uncle had the same thing at their parents, but anyway, so that must be a thing. But for the tractors and stuff, I'm sure. But there probably wasn't another house around for like 2 to 3 miles, literally, right? So here I am driving out in the country roads tonight, trying to scare myself like that. So I don't even know what time it was, but it was late. I mean, it wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning, but it was late. And we had like gone to these grocery stores, had our Arby's and all this kind of stuff. And we come back out there, and there's all these motorcycles parked in my aunt's driveway with their lights on. And they're like just standing around and all this kind of stuff. My aunt was, I could tell she was terrified. She like told me to get down or something. She was like, get down, get down. And she was like terrified. And I remember like she didn't even like really slow down hardly. She just kept on like driving, and she kind of like looked over her. I mean, you have to remember, this is before like cell phones. So it's like she wasn't going to see my uncle again until, you know, Sunday night. And it's probably Friday or something, right? So she like did this huge loop. She came back around or something, I don't remember. But anyway, we went past the house like 3 times total. And she was like so scared. And I remember like we called my grandma and we went over and stayed at her house or something like that, because she was so scared. And like to this day, nobody believes us. They're like, oh, you guys and your adventures, always something would happen when Peter, because always things would always happen when I was there. And they'd always be like, oh yeah, you and Peter, something, he's 6 years old and there's motorcycle killers in the driveway. I was like, no, they were there, I saw them too, you know, there was like 20 of them. Nobody still believes this to this day. I always kind of wondered why they were there though. I always thought it was weird. I always think about that. I read it in a book recently. I can't remember where it was, but some audiobook that we were listening to, I think it was the American Predator with Israel Keys, where they said that like you physically cross paths with a serial killer, like at least once in your life you like physically cross paths with a serial killer. And I think it's at any given time there's 100 serial killers that are out there actively killing people. I thought it was 1,000, but I think it's 100. And it's like so weird to think about, isn't it? That like right now we have active serial killers in the United States, so we're completely unaware of. It's so scary to think of that, isn't it? I don't like thinking of it, so I won't think of it. I haven't started the book for next month yet. We're reading Butcher Baker for the book club. The story is supposed to be really good. Very intriguing. John Douglas covered it when in his book, Mindhunter. He talked about the case in there. Because the case was in Alaska. Which I think is interesting because we read about Israel Keys that was from Alaska too. And the reason it's called Butcher Baker is because the guy, the serial killer, I can't remember what his name was. I think it's like Henry or Howard or something like that. He was a baker. He owned a bakery. So, you know, like butcher, baker, candlestick maker. I don't even know what I would consider a short vlog anymore. Like, I was, like, looking at it, and I was like, you know, like, I usually at least do, like, 46 minutes. Because that's 23 and 23, and that's how long it takes me to, like, get through the end. But I don't, like, even know what I would consider a short vlog anymore. Oh my god, you know what? I wanted to share this on here. I'm actually going to do a Peterisms video about it. I said it to my friend. I said, because he knows I do YouTube. It's my sober friend. He's been sober for 40 years. And I said, do you care if I steal that? He goes, no, I probably picked it up and heard it from somewhere else. He's like, take it, I don't care. I was like, I want to do a video about that. So we were talking about inventory. And the idea of inventory is cleaning house. Okay, I started sharing this story, and then the more I thought about it, I thought, even though my friend completely gave me full, he was like, you use it, you tell the story, I don't really care. I thought, I'm just not going to do that. It would be better off if I didn't do it. But it's like such a good lesson. I'm trying to think of like the way to like, I can tell it. It just had me thinking a lot about, I'm gonna say this how I took it without sharing anything that he shared, even though he said I could. It just had me thinking a lot about like, I think that we need to be ready before a spiritual awakening will occur in our own lives. You know what I mean? And I think like when we look at the steps, there's like a reason why they happen in the order that they do. And that, you know, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps is the last step. You know, I think there's a reason why it's not right after the inventory. And it's like, you know, we have to just like clean up the wreckage of our past so that we're prepared and we have removed all remorse, guilt, shame, resentment, and anger from our lives so that we can be prepared for the spiritual awakening, if we so believe in that, you know what I mean? Which I do. But it just got me really, really thinking in my life about the times that I didn't really have any kind of spiritual foundation. There are like snowdrifts on the side of the road. It got me really thinking about times in my life that I really didn't have any kind of like spiritual foundation in my life. And the times that I didn't have any spiritual awakening in my life, I wasn't doing any kind of meditation. I wasn't doing any inventory in my life. I wasn't taking a look at who I was. Because I had no spiritual foundation, I had no emotional sobriety, I just literally was existing. I wasn't thinking about being a better person. I wasn't thinking about not thriving and living out of anger and resentment, which is no place to live. No place for me to live. I've been there before. I've tried to live from a point of anger and resentment and justifiable anger, I think, which there is such a thing as justifiable anger. And justifiable anger is that you're really upset or you're really angry or you have this huge resentment, but the reason why you have it is totally justifiable. You can probably think to yourselves of some examples where that would be. And it's like, okay, this is completely justifiable, but like, who's suffering? I'm suffering, right? And if I'm suffering by living in a state of anger and resentment, how does peace and serenity exist in the same place that anger and resentment exist and reside? They don't. They just don't. And it's like this whole recovery idea that fear and faith cannot exist in the same place, which I don't know about all that. I struggle with that a little bit. I've had some really, really strong faith at times where I still had fear about things. I just wasn't sure, it was really, I think they're talking about blind faith in that instance, blind faith is a really difficult thing, and having blind faith in a lot of things, not just a spiritual higher power, but having blind, I think my battery is flashing. Having blind faith in a lot of things is really difficult, but I think it's really hard to be a person that is peaceful and serene and happy and content if you are living in anger and resentment, misery, finger pointing, blaming, guilt, shame, and remorse. Thank you. So, if you want to be peaceful and you want to be serene, then you first need to get rid of resentment, anger, guilt, shame, and remorse, right? Okay. And I think that's when we talk about being irritable, restless, and discontent. Have you ever known somebody that's irritable, restless, and discontent? You can spot them a mile away, right? You can just see it in everything they do. You're like, that person is irritable, restless, and discontent, angry, insufferable. They're so angry and resentful, right? And it's almost kind of like, at one point you're like this, but at the other point it's kind of sad. It makes you sad, And, makes me sad for them because they don't have to live that way. But to get there, I'm gonna try to turn around on this street, but God, this street is like the most, the road goes this way and this road turns like this. I'm like, please don't let there be anybody coming around here because I don't really want to put my car in the, but I don't want to be this far out in the country roads anymore. Okay, I think I did it. I think he did it. Yeah, well, lock the doors. Serial killers of the world. But, I think, for me, the answer to that is that I have to do inventory, right? I have to sit down and really take stock and take inventory of my life and take a look at why am I feeling this way? What caused it? What areas of my life did it affect? What's my part in it? What exactly is going on here? So that I can take a look at my part of it and I can see the commonalities and I can see the patterns, which are my character defects that I want to let go of. And then I can go, I don't want this anymore. I want to let go of this, right? And the way to let go of that is action. Doing the opposite of that. If you want to get rid of a character defect in your life, do the opposite, And practice it until you get it. And then once you do, well, the people that, you've harmed in your past, because of this anger, rage, resentment, you know, whatever, then you got to make that right. And then I think at that point is when, you know, I just explained to you basically steps 4 through 10. And then basically when you do that is when you're prepared for peace and serenity, which interestingly enough, in recovery is called the 9-step promises. And, like, one of them that I love is that you will cease fighting anyone and anything. And, you know, I have to say that one of the things that has happened to me in the last year is I don't believe that for me, when I'm arguing with people and I'm engaged in this nastiness with people, that I'm really that happy. I don't really think that that's a place where I live of much happiness. And one of the things I've really noticed in the last year is that I've kind of ceased fighting anyone and anything. You know, I'm just kind of like, I just don't anymore. And I'm like, semi was kind of swerving a little bit. There's like all these snowdrifts. I went off this road. But anyway, and now it's completely dry over here. But, it's just like this overwhelming kind of calm and peace comes over you. You know, it came over me, you know, after doing all this specific, very grueling work on myself. You know, it was like, I don't know, like, as hard and unenjoyable as it was at times, I really realize now, like the road to being a happier person and what things don't make me happy. And I want to be happy. I want to be happy, joyous, and free. I want to be, you know, like somebody commented on my video not too long ago and they said, would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? And I thought, you know what, this is so funny because I preach this stuff and I say it and I believe that. And then like somebody kind of like set me straight, you know. It's like I need to hear it too every once in a while. You know, we're not perfect examples of a perfect world. We're, you know, the people that have tools to live by. And I'm so thankful for those tools today, you know. But anyway, I was just thinking about all of that. I can't believe it. It's like still kind of snowing. It's like blowing across the road. So I am going to get off here now and practice some peace and serenity and listen to my audiobook. And what is tomorrow? Thursday? God, I can't believe this week is almost over already. You guys, February is over. This is the last week of February. Can you even believe it? Anyway, I'm going to get off here now. And I'm slowly losing my voice, I feel like. But I hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun today. Do something exciting. I don't know, take a little small risk in your life. Try something, a new kind of food you've never tried. Try a new kind of fruit. If you've never had mangoes, try mangoes. Sarah was saying she bought a bunch of dried, unsweetened fruit tonight. She said she got mangoes. That's why I thought of that. But anyway, do something today that will make yourself proud when you look back on today 5 or 10 years down the road. It can be anything. It could be starting a journal. It could be start collecting something. It could be working out. It could be smiling at more people. It could be anything, you know. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day. And I'm not going to say this right now because I'm maneuvering the road, so I'm not going to look at myself in the mirror. But make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say, I love you. You are valuable. You are important. You matter. You are worthy. You are worthy of good things. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are funny. They say you are talented. Today is going to be an amazing day. It's going to be a great day. Today's going to be a great day, full of opportunity, happiness, joy, and laughter with your friends and family. When you put your head on your pillow tonight, just think to yourself, today was a really good day, and tomorrow's going to even be a better day, or tomorrow's going to be an even better day. And 2020 is your year. It's gonna be the best year you've ever had, full of success and joy and happiness. You're gonna accomplish so many of your dreams this year. I'm finally out of the snore. I'm out of the snore and I'm out of the snow. I'm out of the snow, thank God. But 2020 is gonna be your best year yet. And I love you guys. Get ready for the weekend. The book club live discussion is Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over Mindhunter. And I love you guys, and I will see you. Thanks for watching tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.